Now, Joe, I want to talk to you about your language. Why the fuck do you swear so much?
I don't know.
Have you read anything about the science of swearing?
No.
Do you know that there is a science of swearing?
A science?
Yes, it's pretty interesting stuff.
Oh.
So the part of your brain that produces swear words is not the part of the brain that manages ordinary language.
Oh.
Really interesting. We have 2 language centers in our left frontal cortex. People that have strokes that damage them often lose language completely, but they can still swear. Oh. So swearing is coming from somewhere else. It may be coming from the right hemisphere, but it's also coming from deeper centers in the brain that connect to the limbic system and the amygdala, and that connects to the involuntary nervous system. So here's a couple interesting facts.
Okay.
Swearing is associated with sweating, increased sweating. So you should be dripping with sweat.
I haven't sweat that much. I'm a comedian.
Okay,
I'm sure it's uncomfortable
secondly,
for you.
also interesting, swearing increases pain tolerance. And there's an interesting experiment. The standard way they do pain tolerance, they have people stick their hand in a bucket of ice and water, and you see how long they can keep it there. The people who say, fuck, shit, can keep it there much longer than people who are not allowed to swear.
What about noises? What if they just go, ah?
No, it was swearing specifically.
So they've tried noises and swearing?
Yeah,
and
so it
swearing
may
one?
be, when you, if you're hammering a nail and hit your thumb,
Yeah.
you use one of those words, that's a good strategy.
That's interesting because I almost always do that. If I hurt something, especially a finger, like I slammed a finger in a car door the other day and I went, motherfucker. So that's what that is?
But and it's interesting. It's coming. There's a different part of the brain that manages that. It has different emotional content.
Yeah, it flavors language.
Yes.
I like them. I'm a big fan of the swears.
I'll leave you some papers about the science of swearing.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Now, what would happen if they were no longer taboo? Would the same
They'd lose
areas,
their power. I think they'd lose their power.
Yeah.
Right.
The same areas of the brain wouldn't.
No.
Like, I remember there was an episode of, I don't remember what television show, but it was on CBS.
Yeah.
And they had a line at the end of the show, and essentially they were saying, shit happens. And it was a big deal.
I'll bet.
It was a big deal that they wanted to be able to say shit happens. And apparently they pulled this off, and they got it through, and it was like a 10 p.m. show, so it was okay. And it was 11 o'clock by the time they said shit. And I remember thinking, like, wow, what a strange sort of, like, how many people were involved in this sort of dance, like how many lawyers and executives and who, like, it's very strange that this one word would everybody knows the word,
right?
It's not even that,
so it's
offensive.
kind of a kind of game we all play, right?
Yes. So but you're saying this game is facilitated by one specific part of the brain, and is that because, like, swear words are taboo words?
They're
right?
taboo words, and often associated with things that we find offensive, or with bodily acts that freak people out.
Yeah.
So there's both there's a psychological, social aspect to it, but there's also a neurological aspect to it.
Now, when the words, like some words for some people, like I remember when I was a kid, I lived in Florida for a little bit, and I said hell once. And in Florida in the 1970s, hell was a swear. Like, I don't know. I mean, I came from New Jersey, and then I was in San Francisco, and then also I was in Florida, and I said hell. And they're like, don't swear like that in this class. I was like, swear? What the fuck are you people talking about? Like, it didn't make any sense to me. And then I was like, you guys have different swears.
Yeah.
Now, if you had a word that was not taboo to you, would that same area of your brain be?
I don't know. There has not been a lot of research. It hasn't been taken seriously, but that's all interesting questions that should be studied.
Because if you're a really super conservative person, there's a lot of words that are off the table.
Yeah.
But if you are a far more, just loose with your language, you could shit this and this, God damn it. That would be nothing. Like, God damn it would be just like, shucks.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. But to someone, God damn it would be like a really big deal. Really big deal. So, like, it would be different parts of the brain would be activated by that versus if you said it, it would be not that big a deal. But if someone was like super conservative and they said
Probably
it,
even, more.
yeah, wow.
Yeah, interesting.
What do you think that is a universal thing? I mean, it obviously
Seems to be. It
language
seems to be
wise,
universal.
right?
Seems to be universal. Another finding that I came across is that people who learn a second language, that swearing in the second language does not have the same emotional impact that your first language does.
Oh, that makes sense. That's why they're so fun when you learn Spanish swears.
Right.
It's like you get a free ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and you can do them on television too, right? You can say a lot of Spanish swears on English-speaking TV, and everybody just pleads ignorance. Does every language have?
Yes.
They all have swears.
Yeah. Every language has taboo words, swear words.
Wow.
Yeah, it's universal.
That is really interesting.
Yeah.
Asian languages, European languages, all of them, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. Huh. So that that would, at least to my brain, seem to indicate that there's like some use for that.
Yes. Well, there are probably many uses. One is this thing of modulating pain. One is a social bonding, forming some community.
Yeah, that's how I kind of use it.
Yeah,
I think when I swear in front of people, I'm chesting them out.
Yeah.
Like, you freaking out if I say fuck? Because if you are, I can't talk to you.
Right.
Like, you're too much work.
Right.
You know? You know what I mean? Like,
I know exactly what
if you're talking to someone and every other word, like, well, I really wish you wouldn't use that language. Well, okay, there's so much work to do here.
I know exactly.
Can't hold
what
your
you mean.
hand, dance through this garden.
Right.
Yeah, it's to me also, like, I hang around with a lot of people that swear a lot because I hang around with professional comedians and fighters, and there's a lot of swashbuckling, freewheeling type of individuals involved in those pursuits. And